Okay, so welcome to the Pink Tron. And so, first thing and most important, obviously, is what are we drinking tonight? Brent.
In honor of it now being December, I have an eggnog, and yes, there's rum in it.
Excellent.
Gross.
Sean.
So in honor of finishing in the desert for the HWR today, I've got some Montelobos Pechuga Mezcal.
Very nice. Kees.
I'm sorry, I'm a very dull person tonight. I'm drinking just water, and that's because I had my portion of alcohol this afternoon, and I'll be leaving for training camp to the Canarian Islands soon. So I have to drive. So I have to stick to water at the moment.
Oh wow, that sounds exciting. We're gonna quiz you about that later. So I'm drinking the last of my self-imported Israeli beer, the extra strong, unfiltered 10% stuff.
I test.
But still Red Star. Yeah, it's still labeled as Israel's finest beer, but it's more fine.
The Pabst Blue Ribbon of
Say again?
the Pabst Blue Ribbon of Israel.
Yeah, something like that. So, Herd Winter Racing. So some of us have already done the course. Yeah, we're finally out of the hills and onto TikTok. And I know for myself, it didn't go quite as well as I'd hoped. Brent, I think you did better than I did.
Yeah, I did okay. I mean, it's basically flat. So do normal Zwift start, hang on to group, climb out of Caldu Saddle Springs. Didn't even push that hard. Like, I mean, they went, but I think I held on to like 500 watts for less than a minute to stick in that group. Pedal around again, hang on, chase down Stuart Williamson trying to make a break. Fail, he gets beat anyway. Try to sprint against crazy sprinters. Did you see the guy who wins a B, by the way?
Yeah, I did. I have a little. I'm a little skeptical about him as a B. Something
Anyway,
about 3.99 as 95% of 20 minutes.
yeah. In any event, dude still put out 950 watts at 70 kilos for 15
he's a
seconds
beast.
to win it. So, in any event, that it was fine. I finished at my normal spot again this week. So,
Sean, did you
Good.
race?
I'm maybe racing in an hour.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, no, I didn't know whether you already raced or not, given your comments earlier. But okay, good stuff. Enjoy.
Yeah, it looked I was fan viewing you, Craig, and it did seem like it was on the flats mostly sticking around 3. So I should be able to get in that group.
Oh yeah, you can hang. It's just
Whether I can get over the little hill.
yeah, the massive cold Settle Springs.
Yeah.
I mean, we all make fun of that, and it's a bit of a joke, the name there, but it is enough of a rise that if a group really goes into it, you can get dropped.
Yeah. Can you do 6-7 watts a kilo for a minute after sitting at 3?
Yes.
and then sprint.
And
And
then
The end.
sprint.
I didn't have the sprint today.
Yeah.
Kees,
was
are
only
you
okay.
are you racing this weekend?
I'm afraid I have to pass here. For me, going on a holiday to Lanzarote, I will be riding a bike over there, but not be able to Swift. But the course TikTok, I have very good memories about that. Because actually that course was the course where I raced my first race ever on Swift. So I know how the pain is, and I know what you're talking about. And when I'm looking at the results, I see some powerful people there when you look at the normalized power.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so race 1 had, I think that was Tim Rush. It was definitely scorekeeper, and neither of them won.
Yeah, they lost to a B.
Sort of.
How's that AutoCAD system coming, Zwift?
Yeah, or maybe something results oriented. Anyway, so Zwift Racing League. So we had the team time trial went, especially in the women's B. The little penguins and the butterflies were both massive, but we've got the team time trial happened a week and a half ago, and then tomorrow we've got the road race part of the playoffs. So that should be interesting. And the course, what a decision on a course, given this is a longer climb than happened the whole season. So Innsbruck KOM after party. What do you
Remember,
think, Brett?
I mean, I love Innsbruck KOM after party. It's 3 laps, right, underneath?
Yep.
And so it's points on the sprint just?
Just the
So
sprint.
it's, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good balance there. I guess if you have someone who's a grinder climber who hasn't really had much of a season, this is their chance.
Yeah, I remember this one in the ZRL, what was that, season 2, in January this year, that it really is 2 different races. You've got the first half that's really just pushing hard over the leg snapper to get to that sprint, kill yourself for the sprint, and the people who are sprinting have usually blown themselves up by the time the climb gets around. I was one of those. I think I did like a 30-minute climb rather than, the 24s that everyone else was doing.
Yeah, I think I was when we did that race, I wasn't able to race with my normal team. So that was the Mullets with so Becca won that race. I think that was one of her last races as a B. And Orjan took huge numbers of sprint points. So the team did really well. When so I think I filled in with the Palominos maybe last second, and yeah, that was a hard race. That was a really, really hard race. I think I was 11th, 12th, and 13th in the sprint, the 3 laps.
Ouch.
So yeah, no, that one's a heartbreaker.
And I think it's going to be worse in the playoffs because it's just all high level people.
Oh, yeah. I looked at the C playoffs for the and even the C Atlantic and APAC results, because that's where I was racing this year in B. And yeah, there's a couple teams there that are just absolutely beasts.
I know I looked
Be
at the
fun.
time trial results for B1 after, and the 2 and 4 teams were the 2 teams that came 1 and 2 in our B1 EMEA North or whatever. And I was like, that sounds about right. They were destroying us.
Good stuff. So we are going to attempt the schedule without James. So I'm going to give my best James impression here. So starting with HWR this week, obviously we're on TikTok. We talked about that extensively. So then we'll move into the herd of mountain goats. And that will be Road to Sky. So enjoy the climb of the Alps this week. Yeah. So that will also move into the new women's TT series presented by the Herd or something along those lines. I haven't, I'm not familiar with the name. So that's London Loop. And this is James's new idea of having 10-mile time trials. And this one happens to have Box Hill in the middle. So it's just over a lap of London Loop. So we were talking earlier that this one should be really interesting. And yeah, I'd like to try that one, but I don't get to because it's women's only. So
Yeah,
then happens the Stampede, and the Stampede. Oh no! Oh no!
Shearies.
Oh, you're looking at the wrong one, aren't you? You're looking at next one.
I'm looking at the next one. James took this week's Stampede off. What's this week's Stampede, Brent?
Innsbruck UCI.
Innsbruck.
Yes.
What? Is he crazy?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just checking.
That's the perfect James route for a time trial. I know what you're thinking.
It really is the perfect James route for a time trial. So this is the last of the James routes for time trials. So, wow, what a way to go out. So I guess so for the Stampede time trial series, and this is big news. Brent, why don't you handle this one?
Yeah, James has said that he is going to, he polled sort of the regular racers informally and asked if people wanted these longer sort of 30+ kilometer routes or the shorter 10-mile type routes. And there was sort of a mixed reception, but everybody sort of was supportive of having some shorter routes. And so what we're going to have is actually a mix of routes. There will be 50-50 between 10-mile time trials and 20-mile time trials. 16.1 kilometers or 32.2 kilometers for those of us using the metric system like the rest of the world. And they will be custom finishes on all the different courses over the next
10.
10 weeks.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. I think it's a good mix up. I think it'll be fun to have these custom finishes for routes that we've all raced a bunch of times in time trials. So I'm excited. I'll be back into this one, I think, for sure.
So there's other big news in the Stampede in that I think James is going to attempt to use the time trial start module for every race on every course. So
this is
that's
also true.
going to be interesting.
Yeah, that'll really make it interesting because you don't like part of the fun of the Stampede as a time trial is that you get to see like where you are in the course. So now it's just pure guts. You have no idea where anyone is.
Yep.
Full gas, every race, all race.
Full gas, every race, all race. So that leads into the Shearies, which is a single lap of cast patch, and that is a scratch race. It's just who wins, and I gotta say I hate that route.
Why?
It's you go up the hill and then you go down the hill, and anyway, I just that hill just isn't quite long enough to be recovered to really sprint it well, and it's so hard to catch up to anybody if you've dropped them even by a second or two. Anyway, that route, it's a good race route, but it just drives me nuts.
I don't love finishes right after a downhill. It's so close to. It's like why don't we just summit finish on that one?
Yeah,
I love a finish downhill, but we have to go up first. And that's what killed me, especially in cast patch when you have the aqueduct come before you go up the climb. Oh, this route really kills you.
Kees's ideal route is Road to Sky Reverse.
Yes.
I wouldn't argue with that.
It'd be fast.
Yeah. So then the final race for the week is the Bullseye, which James has pulled a last-second substitution on us here, and I think we're going this week to Rooftop Rendezvous, the brand new Neokio course, 7 laps of Rooftop Rendezvous. That's
I might have to
tempting.
jump in this one. That sounds super fun.
That sounds actually. I think I did that route. I think this sounds absolutely horrible.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's total murder.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely horrible. I love it. So yeah, interesting call, and yeah, I'm tempted. I might try this, but probably not.
This one gives me some flashbacks to some of the routes in the HCC. Some of those just murderous routes.
I gotta, yeah, that was a great week, but yeah, absolutely. So we're going to rename the last segment here, and we're going to call it Around the Horn. So now that we've the North Americans are outnumbering now. So Sean, you can lead this off.
So my main thing is I'm pretty excited about, I'm de-essing for the Little Penguins tomorrow. And they got third in the time trial a couple weeks ago, and they have a really strong looking team for this week, mix of sprinters, climbers. Again, it's going to be really interesting seeing how that race plays out and who can actually, stick in that front group and still climb at the end. Or, there's probably going to be a couple people who their race is 8 minutes long to get to that first sprint and see what they can do for a all-out sprint, and then doesn't really matter after that. But yeah, so that's the thing I'm most excited about for Zwift in this coming week. And yeah.
So Kees, what do you have to say?
Well, as I mentioned in the beginning of this talk, I'm doing some outside riding next week, and that's an activity I've been doing since I was cycling again after a period of non-cycling. Go to a warm country, go to a warm place, and have a week of fun on the bike, and of course vacation with my wife. And so that's what I'm going to do next week. I'm going to do a couple of routes on Lanzarote, one of the Canary Islands. Beautiful place to ride the bike. So I'm afraid I'm not Swifting next week.
I gotta say, Kees, that sounds a lot better than Swifting.
Yeah. Well, although I must say I miss Swifting when I'm outside, riding outside when I'm Swifting. So
you don't have to say that to make us feel good.
Yeah.
No, enjoy, man.
Yeah, Lanzarote's amazing for cycling. They have a big Ironman there. There's like elevation on that island too. Like there's climbs.
Yeah, but it's just somewhere in the middle. Of course, you have some steep and short climbs. In that way, it looks a lot like Swift. And but you have normal, quite normal roads. But it's always a little bit up and down. So it's quite nice there.
Brent, do you want to go now or go last?
I'll go. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Neokio again. I know that we've talked about that, but I'll say if you're riding Neokio and you're on the Neon Flats, look at the I think it's like Castle Park sprint. That sprint is going to be the best sprint, I think, in all of Zwift. It's like 340 meters, but it starts with a 3% down, then goes to a 3% up, and then flattens out, which is just like, there's nothing like that anywhere else in Zwift right now. Like that is the timing technique sprint of all the sprints so far. Now, the ones that are like 680 meters can get bent, but that one is gonna be fun.
It's like a kind of longer version of the balloon sprint.
Yeah, a little bit.
No, and yeah, I can't wait for HSRL because James is going to kill us.
As usual.
So I got to say, my thing that's annoying me is my new trainer. So I got a brand new Kicker V5, and yeah, I'm down 20 watts, consistently 20 watts, right from 30 seconds to 60 minutes. And yeah, I've had two Kicker cores, my 4i dual-sided pedals, and my power tap hub that have all been pretty close together. And Yeah, I'm down 20 watts. So right now I've just accepted that I'm down 20 watts, and that's where I'm gonna go. So anyway, if somebody thinks I should just use my crank set, let me know.
Obviously it is a lot, but isn't that a huge amount? I heard the kicker has about 1% off, and the other models, the core, about 2 or 3%. But it seems like a lot more. 20 watts.
Yeah, it's a lot more. It's a lot more. So I don't know what's going on.
If I added 20 watts to my 20-minute or up power ever in my whole life, I would literally dance for joy. So yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, welcome back to being a shit bee.
Yeah, or maybe a good C. I don't know. I'm going to be close. So all good. Back to the mullets. Mullets are fun. Party to the back. Okay, so I think that wraps it up. So thanks a lot, guys. This is the new cast for the Pink Tron. So Sean and Kees, welcome for the first time, and yeah, thanks everybody for listening.
We don't need no stinking Brits.
It was my pleasure, guys.
See ya.
Cheers, everybody. Have fun this weekend.
Bye.
Yes. Bye bye.